Let's bring in our Gina Martin with our first look at the weather. Lots of sunshine today. Great way to start the work week.
Exactly. Kind of a teaser of summer, which actually is later this week. It's kind of funny, though, when we actually get into the summer season, it's going to get wet out there. But yeah, gorgeous day out there. We see a lot of blue sky through one of our camera shots right now, sitting at 24 degrees. That's our high for today. The other side of the camera, though, is showing some clouds moving in. But so far, no watches and warnings out there. And I don't really anticipate anything to pop up over the next several hours here at least. However, getting really close in our radar satellite there, starting to see, again, some clouds making their way over the mountains there and building up some of that convective energy. So it could be an isolated shower here or there a little later this evening. So when we look at your 24-hour forecast, brought to you by 5th Avenue Volkswagen, find more than what you're expecting at the all-new 5th Avenue Volkswagen. You will see that thunderstorm risk for the next couple of hours dropping down to 12 overnight, up to 15 by morning there, and then another high of 23 tomorrow afternoon with another chance of some thunderstorms.
Bring in our Gina once again. Look at the weather. Again, always like a tale of two different types of like weather stories, right? And it's tricky sometimes.
It really is. And yeah, the next couple of days, that wildfire risk is going to be really important to keep an eye out for, because we'll continue to see those dry conditions throughout the next couple of days here, really until we wrap up spring. And then the wet weather moves in. But right now it is Gulf weather when we take a look at our Skywatch weather camera here. Lots of people enjoying being outside today with these gorgeous temperatures. I mean, look at it out there. 24 degrees at the airport. Downtown is at 25 right now. Same over in Winsport, and over in Strathmore, you're at 25 degrees, and you can get your daily dose of greens at Serenity Golf Club, just 20 minutes east of Calgary. So yes, good golf weather really for the next couple of days here. We just have the thunderstorm risk possible for the next couple of days. Even right now, seeing a little bit of those puffier cumulonimbus clouds moving over the mountains, tracking closer to Calgary. When we look at those temperatures south of the city here, 26 in Lethbridge, same in Medicine Hat, and you're sitting at 25 in both Brooks and Drumheller. In the central part of the province, very similar temperature values out as well. Most areas in the low to mid 20s currently. Let's take a look at the bigger picture here across the country. Again, we're all in good company. A very stable day out there. Nothing super disruptive. Tomorrow, a very similar setup. We're aiming for a high of 23 in Calgary, up to 28 in Lethbridge, and 29 for Medicine Hat. So no watches and warnings so far, but like I mentioned, just along the foothills there, starting to see a bit more of that convective activity tracking over to Calgary and to the east of the city as well later this evening. But I kind of previewed this in our last hit here. Lots going on in the Pacific Ocean right now around the Gulf of Alaska. We have two low pressure systems. We have this one closer to the BC coast and this one more out in the ocean there. And they're working in tandem. The question is, will they join forces and produce this super low pressure system, or will they maintain both their own systems and just steer each other? If that happens, regardless, we're expecting rain from that Pacific system later this week. But the couple of days ahead of it, or before it, I should say, are pretty consistent. Like I mentioned, we could see that thunderstorm activity in central Alberta in the afternoons here. Temperatures in the low 20s in the central part of the province, gaining heat and more high pressure and stability the more south in the province you go. So the next 3 days looking pretty stable and consistent out there. We might have those occasional thunderstorms or pop-up showers tomorrow and Wednesday. Very nice for Thursday. But yeah, the first day of summer, little bit of a bummer if you want to be outside with lots of rain moving in. But of course, that moisture is welcomed after several days of dry weather.
One more look at the weather. Consistency for the next couple of days.
Yes, that is the key word. But there's still a lot that can happen. It's just consistently sunny, like we're seeing in this shot here. But on the other side of the camera, when you look at those mountains, we see those clouds move in. So we're currently at 24 degrees. That's our high for today. A little bit higher in the seasonal range there, but just a lovely, lovely Monday for us. And again, tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, very similar setups. We're all holding in those low 20s for your highs. Maybe some thunderstorms in the evening, Camilla, but otherwise a really nice stretch of weather.
Gina joins us now with a first look at the weather. I have no complaints about today's weather whatsoever. It was delightful.
It's just perfect out here right now, Ian. Gorgeous temperature throughout the day, slightly above seasonal, some calm winds out here, a lot of sunshine behind me and blue sky. That being said, on the other side of the camera here, there are those clouds moving in from the foothills that may produce a pop-up shower or isolated non-severe thunderstorm, but it's not looking very likely. We're sitting at 24 degrees right now, and this weather pattern really is going to continue for the next 3 days. So tonight, we'll cool down to a low of 12, up to 15 in the morning there, and back to 23 in the afternoon with another chance of some thunderstorms.
Thank you, Gina. Gina, we had some showers late yesterday afternoon into the evening, but we haven't really had a big downpour recently.
No, we haven't, but one is on the way. It's just got to take a little bit more time before we'll start to see that impact here in Alberta. But for the next couple of days, very similar to what we saw this afternoon. Nice high of 24 degrees today, partly cloudy out there currently. Winds are variable this hour, but pretty calm out there. And pressure is pretty standard right now, falling a little bit, but right at that typical sea level pressure here in Alberta. So 25 degrees is what we're seeing outside the city in Lethbridge right now, 26 in Medicine Hat, and 25 if you're joining us in Brooks or Drumheller. Central part of the province, pretty similar temperature values in the low to mid 20s for the most part. So tomorrow, again, very similar setup, but really across the country today, we were all in good company with those highs all in the low to mid 20s. So a lot of consistency today, but disruption will happen later this week. Tomorrow, though, basically rinse and repeat. 23 degrees for our high in the city. Very warm when you get more south at areas like Lethbridge and Medicine Hat. But when will the change happen? Probably on the first day of summer. So it's going to be, again, this consistent cycle of mix of sun and cloud in the afternoon. Then you start to see a little bit of brewing instability along the foothills there. As it stands today, doesn't look like much of this is going to track far into Calgary here or outside of it. But let's take a look at the next couple of days. So looks pretty cloudy, or mix of sun and cloud for Tuesday morning there in Calgary. But you see more of that convective activity as we get into the afternoon. Not concentrated much over the city, more to the east of it. Wednesday morning looking nice and sunny, and then once again start to see those thunderstorm cells develop east of Calgary. As we get into Thursday, beautiful sunny conditions with a high of 23, and then we see a big change in the weather pattern as a low pressure system will move in on that first day of summer on Friday, bringing a good amount of rain out there, over 25 millimeters possible. It's also going to drive down our temperatures for that first day of summer and continue to do so as we get into Saturday with just a high of 11 degrees, more rain and some strong winds out of the north as well. So what's causing all of this? I will tell you in your next hit, but your 5-day forecast for now is brought to you by Action Furnace.
In trending today, a special shout out to the Calgary Airport Spotters group on Facebook. For them, yesterday was the best day ever. Sarah Kaufman took this video of Air Force One landing at Calgary International. It was one of dozens of videos and photos shared as world leaders touched down in Calgary. The Facebook group even tracked the flights as they flew in from all parts of the world. Allison Parsons shared her video of Marine One and a group of Osprey helicopters heading to Kananaskis. And minutes later, look what emerged, a rainbow on the eastern horizon, reminding us that even as world leaders address the ugly realities of global politics, Mother Nature gives us something truly beautiful.
Wow, I liked how you tied that all together.
Isn't that amazing?
That's really cool. And I didn't even think about how awesome this is, seeing all these massive planes and choppers over the city right now. It is once in a lifetime for a lot of people.
Once in a lifetime. And this is a Facebook group where people get excited if an unusual KLM flight is coming in once a week. And then now all these incredible jets arrive in Calgary. It's really cool. It's often a challenge when a new animal joins an old pet in the home, but not in this case. Look at this German Shepherd and his new buddy, a raccoon. They love hanging out with each other. It has got nearly 70,000 likes on Instagram on the For the Love of Smiley page.
I was hoping this was going to be the case when I introduced my newest kitten to my senior cat. It hasn't quite gotten to that point yet, but here's hoping.
Even though they're both cats.
Even though they're both cats, they got their personalities.
They sure do. And finally, a rarity in nature. That's an albino deer in a community just outside St. Louis. It was joined by a buck with more common coloring. The deer had become a bit of a local legend when someone saw it in May on their doorbell camera, and then Sydney Berry captured it while out on a walk.
Wow, just a lot of once-in-a-lifetime shots.
Once in a lifetime.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't say it's once in a lifetime. It's once every 30,000 deer.
Okay, so pretty common.
Or are albino. So it's still pretty rare, for sure.
Welcome back. Kind of seeing a bit of that cloud moving in on your Skywatch weather camera here. It's moving in over the foothills and a little bit closer to Calgary, but I don't think there's enough juice in those clouds to really produce any severe thunderstorms, maybe a scattered shower here or there. But take a look at this blue sky shot here. When we look at the temperature right now, we're sitting at 24 degrees. That's our high for today. Just a little bit above normal in that seasonal range there. Not breaking any records today, but just a beautiful Monday out there. Very similar weather pattern throughout the week here. When we take a look at your 24-hour forecast brought to you by Action Furnace, fixed right or it's free. We'll hold on to that thunderstorm risk for the next couple of hours. There's no watches or warnings in effect right now, but just something to be mindful of if you're going golfing or barbecuing outside tonight. Dropping down to 12 overnight, up to 23 by tomorrow afternoon, where once again we'll see that possibility of a thunderstorm. This is what we're seeing on the radar satellite right now. Like I told you, after it passes the foothills, a lot of this is dissipating, so just expecting partly cloudy conditions tonight. I'm keeping an eye on what's happening over the Pacific. We got two low pressure systems that could join forces a little later this week and then start to track inland, producing a lot of rain. Rain is in the forecast regardless, but it's this low that we're keeping an eye on. It's not going to do much really until we get into about Friday, and then we see this Pacific low and an Arctic low clashing over Alberta. That could produce quite a bit of rain, some cool, strong northerly winds as well. But your next 3 days here looking pretty stable, nice warm temperatures, some on and off cloud, but otherwise a good looking stretch to wrap up spring before we get into summer on Friday.
They've got a great message. And let's make sure none of these world leaders are struck by lightning over the next 24 hours, right? Yeah,
I'll try my best, but I'm feeling a bit of pressure now. But yeah, it's just been a gorgeous day today. We did see a little bit of potential for some active weather moving in over the foothills there, but it looks like it's basically dissipating by the time it gets into Calgary. Your weather window shot here brought to you by Lux Windows and Doors, crafting quality windows and doors for your style, budget, and Alberta's climate. We've been seeing so many gorgeous shots of the Kananaskis area. I thought this shot taken by Marlene of this moose cooling off just fit right in with that theme. But yeah, that chance of thunderstorms could be possible tomorrow afternoon and even on Wednesday as well. So very similar setup for the next couple of days here. That last day of spring on Thursday, nice and sunny with a high of 23. And then we kind of take a rainy note for the first day of summer with lots of rain in store on both Friday and Saturday. So a bit of a messy looking weekend to kick off summer, Ian.
Okay, Gina, thanks very much. Thank you for joining us and have a great night.